2:30 in the morning. Our alarm went off and we rolled out of our warm beds and crawled into the dark. Why? Because we were trying to do something special. We were about to hike one of Norway's most iconic places, Preikestolen, just in time to watch the sun rise above the fjord. There's only one question. Will we make it in time?
We did it.
Welcome back to our motorcycle journey through Norway. In this episode, we take a short break from riding to do something we'd been looking forward since the beginning of the trip, hiking to Preikestolen, also known as the Pulpit Rock, one of the most photographed and visited places in the country. To avoid early morning stress, we booked a cabin right at the base camp the night before. It was a bit of a splurge, €75 for one night, but completely worth it. Not having to deal with the motorcycle gear and the tent was a big plus. At exactly 2:30 am, maybe even a few minutes earlier, we stepped outside into the chill of the night.
Good morning. It's about 2:40 in the morning and we're going to hike Preikestolen. I had two fears before this hike. First, that it was completely pitch black and we wouldn't see anything. This is not the case. It's little light, so very good. We will see the path. And the other one was that we meet a bigger hiking group and all the, let's say, privacy up there is gone. That one I cannot say yet, but we will see. And now let's go.
Boots laced and backpacks ready. The sky was dark, but only just, because this is summer in Norway and the darkness never really lasts. We started the hike in the light cone of our headlamps, lighting the path in front of us. Despite the early hour, we were not alone. But before long, it wasn't necessary anymore to use the lamps. The light crept in slowly, gently revealing the outline of the mountains around us. And then, completely unexpectedly, we saw it. A glowing, red-tinted full moon hovering just above the ridge, about to set. A strawberry moon. Of all nights to hike Preikestolen, we'd picked the one with the full moon hanging low over the fjord. We stood still and just stared. It was quiet, peaceful, almost unreal. And of course, we lost track of time doing that. And that meant we suddenly had to speed up. We hadn't come all this way to miss the sunrise. So we pushed ourselves harder than we would have wanted at 3 o'clock in the morning. My heart rate hit 170 at some points, not because the trail was overly steep, but because we were racing the sun. Technically, the hike to Preikestolen isn't difficult. Nepali Sherpas had reinforced the trail years ago, making it accessible to most visitors. Even installing staircases cut straight into the rock. It's not the most adventurous or wild trail we did in Norway, but it's definitely one of the most scenic. And despite the rush, we still took in the beauty along the way. Grassy swamps, twisted trees growing between stone slabs, and dramatic views opening up as we climbed higher.
We're almost there, almost. About 200 meters left. Oh, and it's so beautiful.
And then, finally, we made it.
We did it before sunrise.
Just a few minutes before sunrise, we reached the top. We stepped onto the rock and looked across the Lysefjord, still wrapped in shadows, waiting for the light. Of course, we weren't alone up there. You almost never are at Preikestolen. But the early hour meant there were only a handful of others. No crowds and no noise. Just a quiet group of strangers all waiting for the same moment. And then it happened. The first sliver of sunlight broke over the ridge, spilling golden light across the cliffs and into the fjord below. We sat down, ate a simple breakfast and just let it all soak in. It was cold and our fingers were numb, but we didn't care. We were there, we had made it, and it was absolutely worth it. Eventually though, the wind picked up and we were still a little bit tired, so we packed up and started heading down. On the way back, we passed dozens of hikers coming up, looking forward to the rock and unaware of what they just missed. And honestly, we were glad to be on our way down. The trail was already getting busy and it reminded us once again why the early start was the best decision we could have made. By 6:40, we were back at the base camp, tired, sweaty, and very, very happy. And the best part, the whole day was still ahead of us.
We're almost back at the base camp. We just hiked the Preikestolen in sunrise, and mosquitoes are coming out, so time to go. But it was such a beautiful hike, one of the most beautiful I've ever done. Very, very nice. I highly recommend this, but early in the morning.
This sunrise hike was one of the most memorable experiences of our entire trip. But the adventure didn't stop there. From fjords to fishing fields and mountain roads to funny ferrets. Our next destination would take us even deeper into Norway's wild side.
Back in a base camp, and this is the earliest energy drink in the morning in my life.
Stick around and check out the next episode. See you then. Bye bye.